It hosts an open house tonight in Miami, but not without some controversy. And affordable housing tax credits in Kansas could soon be a thing of the past. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, a proposed bio-waste facility in Miami hosts an open house for the public to attend. Plus, Neosho residents learn about the details of a proposition and its potential benefit to the community. And
a bill in Kansas could eliminate tax credit towards affordable housing. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A public open house was held in Miami tonight for a controversial facility that would use chicken waste to produce a methane-based gas. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The possibility is drawing concerns from some residents and environmental groups alike. KOAM Samantha Walker has details.
The application from Argo Development Partners for an air permit with the Oklahoma Department of Environment Quality is drawing concerns from Ottawa County residents and environmental agencies alike.
We are probably less than a half a mile from it, so we have a lot of concerns.
The proposed facility by Argo, referred to as the Oklahoma Bioprocessing Project, would bring in over 160,000 tons of chicken litter from local farmers a year, creating renewable natural gas, liquid fertilizer, and solid fertilizer.
We have, probably almost, definitely more than $10 million in odor control. We have a lot of engineering that's gone into this, a lot of water treatment chemical project, sort of design and engineering that's gone into the plant.
Following community concerns, Argo and the Miami Area Economic Development Service are providing an overview of the project for the community. Details include project engineering, operating plans, permits, health and safety, and community benefits.
We know there's a lot of information that's floating around on Facebook and other sources, and we just want to present what we're doing, and so the public can decide for themselves, what we're doing here.
The open house also allows for questions and comments from the public. Community members have raised a variety of concerns regarding the facility, for example, the smell it might emit. Organizers hope the open house can help address those questions,
so that you can be better informed on what this project really is, and then make a decision whether or not you're in favor of it or not. We're not telling anybody to support the project or to be against the project. We simply want everyone to have the opportunity to get their questions answered.
Attendees say it's important for them to have the facts on what changes might be coming to their community.
How this project's going to be built, the science behind it, they're going to know. They're not just going to take a word like poultry litter and run with it. They're going to have the actual knowledge of what it is.
You don't learn much on Facebook, no.
Reporting in Miami, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality will hold another public meeting about the permit on April 2nd. The agency will take comments from the public during that meeting. Neosho residents learned about Proposition A tonight at an open house hosted by the Neosho Next Committee and the Chamber of Commerce. Voting yes for Prop A would allow for a use tax to help pay for a new aquatic center, pickleball courts, and inclusive playground and golf facility upgrades.
We have several of these open houses coming. So basically over the next few weeks, we're doing all we can to educate the community on what projects the Proposition A, the use tax funds, will be used for, answer questions, and hopefully have people as well informed as possible for the election.
The use tax would be a 3% local sales tax applied to online purchases. Voters will decide the future of Prop A on April 8th. Officials announced a new source of drinking water for part of Missouri. Storage space in Stockton Lake will now be reallocated to provide drinking water to communities throughout southwest Missouri. Part of the reallocation will also include an industrial water supply. A spokesperson for Southwest Missouri Water says the project would provide $38 million daily with no major impact on the lake. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, what a Tuesday for us today. Temperatures all the way up into lower 80s, not far from that record high of 85 degrees, well above the average high of 58 for this time of the year, and it's still above our average high outside right now. It's 64 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. Still kind of breezy. We got those southerly winds kind of kicking in, 10 to 15 to 20. They're coming down a bit as we go through the rest of the overnight hours tonight. Sitting into the mid 60s though, we only drop back low to mid 40s. We do have a few clouds out to the west, so we'll call it partly cloudy skies, partly sunny skies as we go into Wednesday. But still, even though we get these clouds, temperatures into the upper 70s for highs. Thunderstorms skirt just south of us tomorrow evening. And of course, we had a windy day today, but it gets much worse on Friday. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
See you soon. A Kansas House bill could eliminate affordable housing tax credits. As KOAM's Melissa Alexis shows us, affordable housing tax credits contribute to the building of various homes all across Kansas and in the city of Pittsburgh.
This would have a huge effect.
It's a bill proposed by Sean Tarwater, a member of the Kansas House of Representatives. The bill, if it becomes a law, would eliminate tax credit that's used to build affordable homes throughout the state of Kansas. Representative Tarwater believes the program is too costly. The housing director for the city of Pittsburgh, Kim Froman, says if it becomes a law, it would negatively impact Pittsburgh.
Be individuals that might be on waiting lists or in those housing units. And if we don't create more units and more opportunity, those individuals could become homeless.
Thousands of affordable homes throughout the state of Kansas have been built through this tax credit. The assistant director of housing for the city of Pittsburgh says affordable homes in Pittsburgh have also been built through this tax credit.
A critical need for affordable housing in Pittsburgh. So with the loss of these type of tax credits, I think it will give the city a burden, likely heighten the difficulty of meeting that demand.
Froman says there are 431 affordable housing units in Pittsburgh that came about through this tax credit, including Pittsburgh Highlands, Sycamore Village, Pittsburgh Seniors, Stillwell Apartments, and more. The city of Pittsburgh even has upcoming projects in the works that wouldn't have been possible without this tax credit.
Remington Square, Pittsburgh Seniors, Sycamore Village. That would be a lot of people that wouldn't have a place if those projects didn't come to fruition.
Both Froman and Keener say eliminating this could potentially increase homelessness in Pittsburgh.
Because it's going to rise the prices of other housing up, I feel. So it's going to make units not affordable. So those individuals may have to move out. It may make waiting lists longer than they already are.
A city standpoint, and also just being, a citizen of this community and seeing the need and driving around and feeling it in our community, to lose this would be really detrimental.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, the Kansas House approved the bill. It's now in the Senate. A Carthage man pleads guilty in the murder of his wife. That story's coming up. And we look back on the impact of COVID on our area 5 years later. A Carthage man pleads guilty in the murder of his wife in Kansas. Gavino McJunkins Messias has entered a guilty plea for murder in the second degree. Unintentional but reckless in the death of his wife, Kenya Lopez, also of Carthage. Police found her body last June inside a camper trailer on the 600 block of North Main Street in Carthage. The investigation revealed a homicide had happened in Miami County, Kansas, and concluded in Carthage. His sentencing for second-degree murder in Kansas is next month. On the Missouri side, prosecutors charged him with abandonment of a corpse. That case is ongoing. Today marks 5 years since the World Health Organization declared the COVID-19 pandemic. It was the beginning of a wave of illness that took millions of lives worldwide. It also forced our local businesses and schools to make a lot of changes.
Not all changes that came about through the pandemic were bad. I was up here at the high school at the time as principal, and it forced us to think about some things differently. There's no real policies or anything that we've changed that have lasted over time, but practices and the way that we do things inside our buildings are different, and in a lot of ways, in positive ways, because of the forced changes that we had to go through as a district.
Just one of many signs the pandemic has lifted. The federal government is no longer accepting orders for free COVID-19 tests. The Oklahoma State Department of Health is reporting 2 measles cases in the state now. The department says the individuals immediately quarantined themselves. Elsewhere, as measles cases in Texas and New Mexico continue to rise, vaccine rates nationwide are falling. According to CDC data, vaccine rates for diseases like the measles fell across more than 30 states in 2024. Leah Waldman has the latest.
The emergence of measles needs to bother more people than it is bothering nationally right now.
Though they're states away, Dr. Jim McDonald with the New York State Department of Health is very concerned about the measles outbreak in West Texas and New Mexico.
Measles is not a harmless childhood infection. If you look at the Texas outbreak in particular, a little over 1 in 5 people are ending up in a hospital.
McDonald points to falling immunization rates as the reason behind the outbreaks. CDC data found vaccination coverage among kindergartners across the U.S. dropped to 92.7% for measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine during the 2023 to 24 school year.
When vaccine rates erode, and they have eroded to the point where many jurisdictions now have vaccine rates that are well less than 95%, which is what's required to prevent measles, we're starting to see measles come back.
Dr. Paul Offit says there's an increase in vaccine skepticism and a rejection of them after the COVID-19 vaccines.
I do worry that as immunization rates continue to erode, that children will once again suffer.
The CDC says measles has a mortality rate of 1 to 3 per 1,000 cases in children. With 2 deaths confirmed from the current outbreak, Offit fears the current number of cases is much higher than currently reported.
This is a highly contagious virus, and I don't think people realize how sick it can make you.
A little later, Carthage residents wrestle with another big power outage.
Plus, the winds are going to really increase once again as we go through later this week. We're going to talk about that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be a very warm and very windy day for us today. The winds were gusting up there at times, 35 upwards to 40 miles per hour. They're coming down now, and it's still going to be breezy. It's just not going to be as bad as we go through the next 2 days compared to what we saw today. It looks pretty good. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. So the wind's coming down a bit. We still are getting some gust up there, 15 to 20, but they're going to stay reasonable. As we go into your Wednesday, we'll have south winds kind of 10 to 15. They'll stay reasonable. On Thursday, south winds kind of 10 to 15. They get out of control, though, on Friday. So last week, if you remember, Monday and Tuesday, with that very powerhouse storm system that rolled through, we had gusts 55 to 60, and we should rival that, at least, as we go into Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And they come down on Saturday, but still going to be super windy as we go into Saturday afternoon. All right, temperature is still pretty good. Most of us sitting into the lower 60s. We'll drop back mid 50s later on tonight. We have some clouds kind of increasing out along the I-35 corridor. Besides that, not a whole bunch going on. So let's go west. Here's our next little wave, mainly shooting to our south, and then a kicker wave that's going to come in right behind it. That's the one that's going to produce the wind as we go into Friday. System 1, mainly to our south. System 2, upper level low just to our north, puts severe threat on the southeast side, mainly south and east of us. So the main threat that we are going to get from this system is going to be the wind across the region. We cool down behind it for the weekend. Then the middle of next week, we have another storm system which will push into the region. All right, system number 1, severe threat tomorrow, just south of the region, really Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Texarkana, over toward Little Rock. As we go into Friday, severe threat just east of us, really from Springfield, St. Louis, West Plains, Jonesboro, Memphis, but we could still get some thunderstorms in the region. It just looks like the severe thunderstorms will skirt right around us. All right, mid 50s to start on your Wednesday. Clouds increase during the afternoon. Mid and upper level clouds should keep our temps down at a notch 2 or 3 compared to what we saw today. So I think most of us 78, 79, 80 degrees. Clouds will start to break late tomorrow night. Look at that thunderstorms kind of skirt around the region. So most of us stay dry. We may get a random one in our southern counties. Then we'll start Thursday, low to mid 50s. Let's go into Thursday afternoon. We rebound again, right back up into the upper 70s for high. 70 by noon, 79 for a high on your Wednesday. Let's look at the Friday storm. So scattered thunderstorms pop up early afternoon, but watch this. They really don't get going until they push just east of the region. But I do still think we'll get some scattered thunderstorms across the area, mainly our eastern counties. Let's go with a pair of 79s. Wednesday, Thursday, 77 on Friday. We do cool down over the weekend. It's going to be sunny, but those 50s there, I know they look really cool, but that is right where we should be for this time of the year. So we're just well above normal right now.
In 50s, you get outside with a sweatshirt and still enjoy the sun.
Not bad.
Thanks, Todd. Another power outage in Carthage today leaves thousands of customers in the dark. At one point today, more than 7,300 of the Carthage Water and Electric plant's 8,200 customers had lost power. It has since been restored, but it's the latest in a series of outages lately, causing growing frustration throughout the community. Carthage Water and Electric officials say the issue lies in the hands of the Southwestern Power Administration.
We can't go in and fix anything in the substation that's owned by the Department of Energy. We can certainly go in and take a look at the situation and hopefully troubleshoot. And we did this morning. Our folks were there very quickly, and then we had folks come in and start working on the phones and answering calls and trying to get communication out to the customers, kind of let them know what's going on.
Now, we did reach out to the Southwestern Power Administration, and they said they currently have temporary fixtures in place and are working hard to fix the situation permanently. Still ahead, Pitt State's head volleyball coach resigns from her position, and a summer collegiate baseball team is coming to Fort Scott. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
A summer collegiate baseball team is coming to Fort Scott. The Mid-America League holds a press conference at LaRoche Baseball Complex this afternoon to announce that it will be the new home of the league's 7th franchise starting in summer 2026.
We are here today to announce Fort Scott as the 7th team in our franchise and the first team in the great state of Kansas. So really exciting for that opportunity for the city.
Our hope is that at some point in the future, we'll be watching the World Series and we can look back and say, hey, that kid played in Fort Scott. Let's hopefully that happens in our lifetime.
This league brings with it the promise of exciting matchups, unforgettable moments, and a deeper connection between fans, players, and our town.
The team does not have a name yet. To suggest one, you can do so at fortscottbaseball.com. We do know that they'll play their games at Dave Regan Stadium at LaRoche Baseball Complex, which is the home to the Fort Scott High School baseball program. And this summer, the Joplin Outlaws will play a 3-game series there from July 11th to the 13th. Labette County girls basketball played rival Fort Scott twice in the regular season and lost both times. But this past Saturday, the Lady Grizzlies faced the Lady Tigers for a 3rd time in the Sub-State Championship and won in overtime. After taking down Fort Scott in the Sub-State title game, Labette County girls basketball is headed to the Class 4A state tournament for the 2nd year in a row. This afternoon, the Lady Grizzlies hit the practice floor, making some final preparations before they leave for Salina and reflect on the overtime victory that got them here.
I asked them to look at me in the eyes. Don't have your eyes wandering. Don't look down. Don't look defeated in those moments, even though we lost, and especially against Fort Scott. And I never had doubt. I never saw them doubt in those moments. And I think we've seen that throughout our season of close games. How do we get through those moments? And it's by believing in each other and believing in ourselves.
I think it just helps that a lot of the girls, I can see 4 or 5 of them that have played on that stage before, and I think we're ready for it. There's not really any pressure. Well, there's always pressure, but there's not nervousness because we've been there before. We know what we're doing. We're experienced. We're an older team, so I think we're ready for that challenge.
Over in Missouri high school basketball, Aurora faces Logan Rogersville in a Class 4 sectional for the 2nd night in a row. Yesterday, the Wildcats boys team knocked Aurora out of the playoffs. Tonight, the same happens to the girls. Lady Hounds fall 60-44. Their season comes to a close in the sectional round of the playoffs with a final record of 23-6. Some major coaching news this morning. Pitt State head volleyball coach Jen Gomez has resigned after 9 years of leading the Gorillas. Gomez is stepping down as PSU's head volleyball coach and accepting a position as the activities director for Pittsburgh High School and USD 250. She'll assume this position following Jeff Staley's retirement on July 1st. And according to a release from PSU Athletics, Pitt State Athletic Director Jim Johnson plans to expedite a search to find Gomez's replacement as the next head volleyball coach. And that's now both of our local colleges that are looking for a head volleyball coach. Missouri Southern's in the same situation.
We'll see if they can find one soon, or a couple of them soon. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Christy at Miss State.
Play ball. Ribbon cutting this afternoon marks the grand opening of a new baseball stadium for Carthage High School. The official name, McCune Brooks Regional Hospital Trust Baseball Stadium. It's a culmination of 2 years of fundraising and nearly a year of construction. Supporters say it's a state-of-the-art facility.
Our morale is definitely up. We know that there's something to prove. Coming off a good season last year, we definitely want to make that better. And we want to just show everybody that we're not just okay with winning, we want to do more.
This new stadium is on Airport Drive behind Carthage High School. The Carthage Tigers baseball team had previously played at the Carl Luden Stadium on Carthage's Municipal Park, but the concrete on that stadium was deteriorating from age. They're very glad to have this new stadium. Good place for the fans and young athletes. The weather, baseball weather, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to stay near 80 over the next 3 days. Not as windy tomorrow and also Thursday, which is great news. Extremely windy as we get into Friday. Gusts will be kind of 45 to 60 during the afternoon.
That is very windy. Final sports notes.
State tournaments for high school basketball get started tomorrow in Kansas. We've got 3 of our teams in action. The boys from Colgan and then the girls teams from Girard and Neodesha. All 3 of them are playing.
Look forward to hearing more about that. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.